She's a homemaker, don't you know? She'll teach you how to cook and sew, and how to wield a hammer. It's the June the Homemaker Show.
Hello, and welcome to the June the Homemaker Show. Today on June the Homemaker, we are going to make one of my favorite things ever. We are going to make pasta salad. Also, it is a giant storm outside, so if you hear like crazy noises, it's probably the giant storm. And also, if I die while making this video, goodbye the internet. So pasta salad is one of my favorite things for summer. I don't know what it is. There's just something about like cold pasta and homemade dressing and vegetables. It just says summer to me. Our pasta salad is going to have peppers. I have a yellow, orange, and red bell pepper. Tomatoes. I have some little tomatoes. And spinach. I'm also going to make my own dressing, and I'm going to use Romano cheese because that's lower in calories, but a lot of people put mozzarella cheese in it, and that is delicious as well. I'm also going to put in some parsley. I can't forget. I keep meaning to use this parsley, and then I never do, so I'm going to use it. I'm also going to put in some celery, just because I really like celery. The first thing that you're going to want to do is boil some pasta. I boiled an entire box of elbows, which should definitely be enough to last me for the week, plus stave off the other hungry people in my household from eating all of the possible of it before I can. I boiled it and put it in the refrigerator. So this is the part about making pasta salad that's a little bit of a pain. You really are going to be wanting to put the pasta together with cold pasta. It's just not as good if you put everything together while it's hot. It like congeals in the fridge. I don't know, it just doesn't taste the same. It doesn't taste as fresh over time if you make everything while the pasta is hot and put it in the refrigerator as it does if you cool the pasta first and then make everything and then put it in the refrigerator. So it's been in there for like a couple of hours. It's probably not going to be cold, but it doesn't really need to be cold. Do you know what I mean? Right. Do you know what I'm saying? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? What is your favorite summer food? Because, you know, there's always like a food for summer where you're like, you know what tastes like summer? That food. What food is that for you? For me, it's pasta salad and probably ice cream, because I never eat ice cream at other times of the year. You can see I'm just cutting the celery into little chunks. Basically, when you're cutting up your vegetables, you just want everything to be in bite-sized pieces so that when it gets mixed together in the salad, it doesn't really matter which part of the salad you're eating, all of the parts of it will be edible, as in like not in a giant piece. You want everything to be small enough so that it all gets mixed together. There goes the celery. If you want to get around cutting the tomatoes, you can always just put cherry tomatoes in your salad, and then you won't have to worry about, you know, then you won't have to worry about cutting bite-sized pieces of tomato. You'll just have little bite-sized whole tomatoes in there. Oh, by the way, I've decided that it is now tradition that everything that I make should have a crazy name. This is going to be Impending Doom Pasta Salad, because the weather outside is going to kill everything while I am making it. Now, a lot of people get really bent out of shape about cutting peppers, but the thing about peppers is they're just not that big of a deal, especially if you don't care if the seeds end up in your salad. But generally speaking, I like to think of a pepper kind of like a pumpkin. You kind of want to cut it the same way that you would cut a pumpkin, except that sometimes you have to cut down the sides a little bit more so that the thing comes out of the middle. But generally speaking, cutting it the same way you would cut a pumpkin works. Oh, except for when it doesn't. Oh, how strange. Oh, how... Mom, there was a pepper inside of my pepper. Wow, how strange. Inside of my yellow pepper, there is a green pepper in the middle. It's like finding a double yolk egg. It's so crazy. How strange. I guess one of the seeds in the middle started to grow. And then after that, my general pepper cutting technique is to cut the pepper into strips and then cut the strips into little hunks. Now what's really funny about peppers is that the different colors really do taste different, and not in the way that you think that different colored M&Ms taste different, but they really don't. In the way that like they actually do taste different. So like particularly if you go to like a farmer's market and there are all different kinds of peppers there, try some different kinds, because you might find a kind that you super like a lot. Also, I like to use different colored peppers because it makes it look really festive. I feel like I am making a rainbow colored salad. Would it be possible to make a rainbow salad? I bet you could. I bet you could put in like indigo potatoes. Let's see, we already have red, orange, yellow, and green. So the only ones missing are like blue and purple. What's purple? Okay, there goes the red pepper. As far as the spinach goes, I actually like to cut up the spinach even a little bit. If you get like whole spinach leaves, then you definitely want to shred them before you put them in the salad to make them more bite-sized. But even for me, the baby spinach leaves are just a little bit too big to make everything really homogeneous when you put it together, so I'm going to cut them up a little bit. Usually I just make a little pile of the spinach leaves and then I just sort of slice through it. Now, like I said, I made a whole box of pasta, which means that this is going to be enough for a week. But in order to fit the pasta and the vegetables in there, I'm actually going to split the pasta into 2 bowls. So then I can put like half the pasta in one bowl and half the pasta in the other bowl and half the veggies in one bowl and half the veggies in the other bowl. And then each bowl will be really full, but it will have the same amount of stuff in it. So here's 2 bowls of pasta. Let's put half the veggies in here. Now, since I layered the veggies, so pretty much I'm just going to shove my hand down the middle and pull out half of them. That seemed to actually work out pretty well. I'm going to pull out the other half over here, or I could just spill them all over. One of the two. Every time I put an ingredient in with the pasta, I mix it then, so that I can be sure to homogenize things as I go along. You can tell that I'm a big fan of like making everything be easily distributed. Okay, so now this is a bowl of pasta and vegetable-y deliciousness. And now I'm going to sprinkle some Romano cheese. We don't have that much Romano cheese left, but that's okay because we are going to make a delicious salad dressing for it. So now is my favorite part, which is making the salad dressing, because as you know, I am a big fan of spices in general, and this is basically just making a spice thing that is delicious. So I usually start with a little bit of olive oil, not a ton. I'm going with 1/3 cup. And then I add in some red wine vinegar, which does not want to open. Like maybe a tablespoon of that, 2 tablespoons of that. Like a blurb of balsamic vinegar, not a ton because that is just crazy. A blurb is like somewhere between a tablespoon and 2 tablespoons. We've talked about that before, I think. How it's like the sound that it makes and not the actual thing that it is. And into our oil and vinegar mixture, I'm going to add some salt. If you're using mozzarella cheese in it, then you probably don't have to add salt because that's a salty cheese, but that's... And a little bit of black pepper, and a little bit of red pepper, Italian spices, oregano, basil, some fennel, some thyme, and some rosemary. So once you put in the things that sound good in your head, just mix it up. Smell is usually a really good indicator. This smells really good. And then you might taste a little bit of it and see what it needs. Actually, I think that's a little easy on the vinegar. So I'm going to put in some more of the red wine vinegar. Yeah, I like that a lot. Okay, so then you mix it up so that you make sure that everything is all mixed in and not separated or anything. And then you pour it over your salad. So about half of it is going to go over here, and half of it is going to go over here. And also, I cut up some parsley, which I'm just going to throw a little bit over here and a little bit over here. I am not always successful with the big spoon method. Oh, that looks really good. And then all there's left to do is try some. So this is June the Homemaker. We just made a whole bunch of pasta salad. I hope you enjoy yours because I'm about to enjoy mine. And I am signing off.